Carrying more bass and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable noise isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie.
He is the youngest senator that is going to be running. In his video, he also mentioned he's the only senator that lives in the inner city, and he's an unmarried vegan. So a lot of very unique qualities Cory Booker brings to the table, Kate.
Now, I appreciate the comments of my colleagues. This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
Joey, you like movies about gladiators?
Have you ever had an LGBTQ law clerk?
I've not been a judge, so I don't have any law clerks.
Someone working for you.
I'm to be honest, I don't know the sexual orientation of my staff.
When Dick Durbin called me, I had tears of rage when I heard about this experience in that meeting. And for you not to feel that hurt, tears of rage.
Would you just stop being so dramatic?
I'm a big believer that if this country hasn't broken your heart, then you don't love her enough.
We can all be quiet and peaceable and have a few beers together and listen to the music and not make any wrong moves.
Howie Carr is back.
One congressman pointed out a guy he used a very colorful term to say, wearing a mask, I told him to kiss my ear. I'm not going to wear a mask. Well, guess what? Not very American.
Huh? See, you know what's going to be interesting about this tonight? You know, we said, how are they going to get around Chuck Schumer saying erection? But all they had to do was remove that. I guess what they did was they faded it. They faded out his face, and then when he said erection, and then it comes back with insurrection. In the case we just heard with the 300, they're going to have to add the word or just toss the whole sound cut out. And that's
John Trump incited the erection.
Yeah, they faded out when he said erection, and then they put in insurrection. In this case, they don't have that option because they've got to add a word, and the word is million. And I don't see how they can do that. They're just going to have to toss the whole sound cut out.
He did say 300 million after first saying twice 300 Americans.
Well, let's hear. How long's the whole thing? Let's hear the whole thing.
We don't have the cut of him saying 300 million. It's not as funny that way.
No, well, but what I mean is, does he just say, "Excuse me, I meant to say 300 million," or does
afterwards,
he, or does he just start? Does he just start over again? If he gives a whole new take, then they can take the third take when he gets it right.
No, he didn't give a whole new take. He said, "Excuse me, 300 million," but I don't have that portion of the audio right now.
Yeah. 207 says it's called a soft cut in TV talk, a fast dissolve. This is post Howie Carr TV experience when in local news. We didn't have any fast dissolves. We just had jump cuts, and we just had bridge cutaways of me writing notes.
The standard is a jump cut with just a piece of white screen in between. Right?
No, but you'll see the piece of white screen in between. No, what you use to bridge to prevent a jump cut is you have a cutaway. You use a cutaway, either a wide shot or a back shot or a shot of the reporter acting like he knows what he's talking about or she knows what she's talking about. Let's hear the 300 cut again.
From 400 million ordered to 600 million. This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans by end of the summer, the beginning of the fall. But we want to I want to repeat, It'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans.
I want to repeat. It's enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans. May we quote you on that, Mr. President? Take advantage of HelloFresh's New Year's sale and get simple recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered to your door contact-free. Right now, get 10 free meals, including free shipping, during HelloFresh's New Year sale with code Howie10 at HelloFresh.com. That's code Howie10 at HelloFresh.com. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Which of Dr. Fauci's mandates do you believe? No masks, one mask, or two masks?
I believe 0 masks.
Yeah, 84% say 0 masks.
844-500-4242. So I guess what they can do is have it get up to 300 million, then go with the soft dissolve or what is called a soft cut or a fast dissolve, and then cut it in. Would they ever do that for Donald J. Trump? I think the question answers itself, doesn't it?
Order, and that increases the total vaccine order in the United States by 50%, from 400 million order to 600 million. This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans.
Maybe we quote you on that, Mr. President.
It'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans.
300 Americans. It's not too late to get the Gem Spa, the jewelry cleaner. It's a great product. That's a great Valentine's Day gift. We have fewer than 10 left, but you can still get one at HowieCarrShow.com. Click on store. They're half price right now while supplies last, and there are not many left. It's a $69.95 value for just $34.98. If your wife or your sweetheart loves jewelry and is complaining about how dingy her rings or bracelets look, this is a perfect way to clean them. It's cheap and it's convenient, and the Gem Spa lasts forever. Just put the jewelry in there, put it in the dishwasher, and they come out looking like they're brand new. It's a perfect Valentine's Day gift. The Kathy Ireland Gem Spa. Go to HowieCarrShow.com and click on store and get them. They're going fast.
But we want to make look. I want to repeat. It'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans to beat this pandemic. 300 million Americans.
Yeah, there's going to have to be some kind of cut and dissolve in there. They're not going to let him say 300 twice. I'm Howie Carr. It's a new year and time for a new you. DiStefano Hair Restoration changed my life, and they can change yours too. My production director said when he saw a recent pic of me that, "You look great, like Benjamin Button. You're getting younger." That's quite the compliment, and I owe it to DiStefano Hair Restoration and Dr. Chris Hines. Many wait years before they get the hair restoration they deserve. Stop waiting and just get it done. You won't regret it, and you'll ask yourself, why did you wait so long? You can see my before and after photo shoot on their site at hairman.com. Hairman.com. DiStefano Hair Restoration is taking all the necessary precautions to keep you safe during your visit. They also offer virtual consultations. Go to hairman.com today and schedule your free consultation and get the hair you deserve and have always wanted. Dr. Hines took care of me, and he'll take care of you too. Visit them today at hairman.com. The Moonbats always say Donald Trump isn't very bright. But what about Barack Hussein Obama? Let's listen to some of his greatest hits.
I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. I don't know what the term is in Austrian.
The Cambridge police acted stupidly.
And there has never been any man or woman more qualified for this office than Hillary Clinton.
There are neighborhoods around the country where it is easier for a 12 or 13-year-old to purchase a gun and cheaper than it is for them to get a book.
Hey, that's good. Taylor, is he wearing a mask when he says this?
It's there written on the paper?
Oh, okay.
No masks.
I think he's going to be wearing a mask a lot from now on.
A bunch of
Okie doke. A few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia, not Al Qaeda. You said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back.
Here at the Howie Carr Radio Network, we're all about saving you money. We want you to cut out the middleman and buy direct from our great sponsors. And to help you save, I've put together a cheat sheet. For instance, if you go to EdenPure.com, you'll find the Thunderstorm Air Purifier, and you can save $10 using code Howie. You can also get Eden Pure's Gen 30 heater and save even more money with code Howie Deal. Do you have a dirty, dingy carpet that could use some freshening up? Head over to Genesis950.com, use code Howie, and get a gallon of their cleaner, free shipping, and other goodies with code Howie. Put a little pep in your step with Super Beats. Get more bang for your buck and do some good for your heart by going to superbeatsradio.com/Howie. While you're at it, give your ears a treat too and listen to your favorite music and podcasts with premium earbuds from Raycon. Get them at buyraycon.com/Howie. And finally, make cooking easier with HelloFresh. They'll send you easy to follow recipes and all the ingredients you need, but only if you visit HelloFresh.com/Howie. Cut out the middleman, save money, and take advantage of these deals now.
And now, another minute of Madam Speaker, Nancy Pelosi.
But again, don't you have these wings, AOC and her group on one side?
That's like 5 people. They would say, play games, and then they'd say, open sesame. Except we don't say sesame, we say open Biden. But no, I because we are not. We have the number is growing. We have 91 women. There are 115 women in Congress, 116. 15 are Republican, 91 are Democrats. I happen to be a manifestation of the women power that is coming forth now, but only one manifestation. It was like getting kicked in the back by a mule constantly. It was physical. It was so unbelievable. The Times found Lincoln. Not to be presumptuous to put ourselves in those categories, but the Times have found us.
Here's 1 minute of CNN's Don Lemon.
What do you say to those Trump voters who prioritize the economy over the president's bigotry?
I have a big announcement, and it's somewhere on my body. Because the biggest purveyor of fake news is the president in this country, because he does it a lot.
I'm just going to speak from the heart here. What we have witnessed was a total eclipse of the fact.
If you thought I went hard in 2019, watch 2020, baby. There's more to come. I'm a soldier. I'm ready to fight.
Talking about the cost of this parade and where there would be tanks, right? And would there be nuclear weapons? Americans, are you mad as hell? I wouldn't normally address this. As a journalist, I don't really like being the story here. Kanye West, entitled to his own opinion, but is not very bright and not very, when it comes, I'm talking about this issue, not overall. So we have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right to the right.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
And it wasn't until the final days we got the kind of cooperation we needed that once we arrived, the vaccine program is in worse shape than we anticipated or expected. A lot of you follow this, and nobody is, I mean this sincerely, the press is the smartest group of people in town. You hone this stuff down clearly. I think you found the same thing.
Yeah, they're the smartest group in town, no doubt about it. So 617 says CBS Radio just played the Biden clip, but had the reporter comment about the 300 million. I guess that's one way to handle it. You know, looks like it's going to be like the FDR in the wheelchair. Nobody ever showed him in a wheelchair. No newsreels that they had in those days. No still photographs. He was never in his wheelchair. So, and just like, unless you watch the press conference live, you're never going to hear Joe Biden. His brain is in a wheelchair. 844-500-4242. So police today went to the Tony fashionable suburban home of Kellyanne Conway in Alpine, New Jersey. Boy, this is really screwed up with her daughter. Police have launched an investigation into a topless photo of Kellyanne Conway's 16-year-old daughter, Claudia, which the teen says was posted on her mom's Twitter. And cops paid a visit to the family's New Jersey mansion today. Just before noon, 4 officers from the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office and Alpine Police Department showed up with papers in hand at the Conway's brick-faced home in Tony, Alpine, and spent about an hour inside before leaving. The police chief said an investigation is being conducted and no additional information can be released. It's because she's a juvenile, so they can't release anything. On Monday, Claudia Conway took to her TikTok account to address a topless photo of herself that apparently was tweeted on her mother's Twitter fleets, which automatically deletes posts after 24 hours. Claudia said she believes her mom, quote unquote, accidentally posted the pic on her or her account was hacked. I'm not buying that. Whenever anyone says the account was hacked, I automatically disbelieve it. That has been debunked a million times. Accounts aren't hacked. Nobody would ever have any photo like that ever, Claudia said in a since deleted TikTok. So, Kellyanne, you're going to bleeping jail. The photo disappeared from Kellyanne's account, but not before it was screenshotted and shared by various users. On Tuesday, the vocal teen apologized for publicizing the matter, said she now believes hackers are to blame, and calling on members of the public to stop contacting authorities about the mother, etc., etc. I know my mom would never ever post anything to hurt me like that intentionally, and I do believe she was hacked. I want to apologize for saying your mother was going to jail. You want to apologize for that? Yeah. Yeah, we could make that the poll question, but there's no need to. I think we all have a pretty good theory about what happened. 844-500-4242. I meant to get to this earlier, but it's a big issue. This was an executive order that Biden signed on his first day in office, and there've been columns written about it. This is the executive order on preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. Again, an Orwellian description. On day one, Mr. Biden placed all girls' sports and women's safe spaces in the crosshair of the administrative state. This is a column by Abigail Schreier. She's written a book called Irreversible Damage, the Transgender Crazed Seducing Our Daughters. I think this book was, they attempted to cancel the book, but they obviously didn't succeed because this column ran in the Wall Street Journal on Saturday. So there was a decision by the Supreme Court recently saying that that transgenders, the decision upholding the rights of transgenders, was limited to employment and had no bearing on, quote, sex segregated bathrooms, locker rooms, and dress codes. The majority added, quote, this is the Supreme Court, we do not purport to address bathrooms, locker rooms, or anything else of the kind. The Biden executive order is far more ambitious. Any school that receives federal funding, including nearly every public high school, must either allow biological boys who self-identify as girls onto girls' sports teams or face administrative action from the education department. So this woman says, what would this mean for girls and women's sports? And Olympic track and field coach Linda Blade said to the Wall Street Journal, what would it mean? Finished, done. The leadership skills, all the benefits society gets from letting girls have their protected category so that competition can be fair, all the advances of women's rights, that's going to be diminished. Ms. Blade noted that parents of teen girls are generally uninterested in watching their daughters demoralized by the blatant unfairness of a rigged competition. And I think there are a lot of, maybe not a lot of places, but there's some places where parents have already seen this. There's been cases in our listening area for sure. And I don't mean just the Connecticut example. I mean in Massachusetts. I say rigged, says the author, because in contests of speed and strength, the athletic chasm between the sexes, which opens at puberty, is both permanent and unbridgeable. Testosterone suppression doesn't undo the biological advances men possess. Larger hearts, lungs, and bones, greater bone density, more oxygenated blood, more fast-twitch muscle fiber, and vastly greater muscle mass. It should be no surprise then that the two trans-identified biological males permitted to compete in Connecticut state track finals against girls, neither of whom was a top sprinter as a boy, consistently claimed top spots competing as girls. They eliminated girls from advancement to regional championships, scouting, and scholarship opportunities and trophies, and they set records no girl may ever equal. And this is I didn't know this, but the fastest female sprinter in the world is American runner Allison Felix. She has lots of gold medals in the Olympics. Her lifetime best for the 400-meter run is 49.26 seconds. Based on 2018 data, nearly 300 high school boys in the United States alone could beat that. So if boys want to compete as females, they're going to win. I mean, it's biology. It isn't merely that girls who participate in sports tend to earn better grades, that so many female Fortune 500 executives were athletes. It's the profound and glaring injustice of it all. The spectacular records and achievements that Jackie Joyner, Althea Gibson, and Wilma Rudolph would never have achieved had the world pitted their bodies against men's. Yet here we are, decades of women's achievement and opportunity rolled back by executive fiat, battered women's shelters, women's jails, and other safe spaces that receive federal funding and constitute dwellings under the Fair Housing Act may be next. Oh, God. So, this is it. Children, so this is what they said. Biological males who identify as female to compete must be allowed to compete in women's athletics. Children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to school sports, the order states. Children. 844-500-4242. Let's open up the lines here and take some calls on this. Let's see. By asserting that sex in Title IX, that asserts equal opportunity in athletics, publicly funded school athletics. By asserting that sex in Title IX includes gender identity, the order not only denies reality and discriminates against biological women, it also effectively reverses Title IX, instituted to give female athletes a level playing field through female-only teams. Oh, well.
I mean, is there going to be a handicap system like in golf? You know, if you're of a lower advantage, you get a few more points added to your tally?
No, they would have done that in Connecticut if that was the plan. That's not the plan.
What's the incentive here for anybody to be competitive anymore?
I don't know, Taylor. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, you know, Joe Biden announces this is a great achievement that you know, a woman is now the vice president. This is the first time it's ever happened, and they talk about how, you know, when they had the suffragette march in 1913, you know, the men attacked the women that were marching in the white to get the vote for women, and then he finishes this speech, which, you know, again, he doesn't know what he's reading, obviously. But he finishes the speech and then goes into the Oval Office and signs this executive order that's going to make it more difficult for women to compete. 844-500-4242. Anna, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Anna.
Hi, I had a daughter who played college soccer, and she wasn't a big girl, and she never could have gone up against a man in soccer. She never would have made the team. And now I have granddaughters who play hockey, and I can't imagine them having to go up against a boy playing hockey. That is such a difficult sport for girls.
Well, yeah, I mean, wasn't there some kind of extreme wrestling or extreme fighting where a man was going up against a woman and he broke her skull, I believe, right? A few years back. Do you remember that,
The
Taylor?
UFC fighters. Yeah. The UFC fighters.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, if There's a reason why in wrestling, just with males, a 140-pound guy does not go up against a 200-pound guy, right? It's same in prize fighting, professional fighting. You have different classes. You have heavyweights down to bantamweights or welterweights, and so now women are going to have to go up and compete against stronger, heavier males. It's crazy. It's just insane. And it's political correctness run amok. Regina, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Regina.
Hey, Howie, how you doing?
Good.
All right, this is what I want to talk about. I want to state my view on this issue as a woman who is elected in local politics. And I want to say that the Democrats' move on this is actually, I would argue, they are trying to take away females as females were meant to be. Females are different from men.
Right.
Okay? So they're saying they're for woman activism and women need to be equal. Well, guess what? Women are going to be equal as women. Okay? Men should be in men's sports. Women should be in women's sports. That's all there is to it.
I agree. That's now a radical position, Regina, for you to take. If you run for re-election to whatever position you have, they will call you a hate monger. You're inciting an insurrection. 844-500. Thanks for the call, Regina. My friends at Eden Pure have done it again, and for just this week only, the Thunderstorm Air Purifier BOGO is back. That's buy one Thunderstorm Air Purifier and get another one for free. It's been months and people still ask me if it really works. Not only does it really work, but it works in hours. Our sales rep came down last week and there was a funky smell at her Airbnb, but it was no match for the Thunderstorm. The mailroom manager lent one of ours to her, and hours later, the smell was gone. The Eden Pure Air Purifier is so small you can hold it in your hands and plug it right into the wall. That's why it was so easy to move. The best part is you don't have to replace any air filters, which of course saves you time and money. BOGO is back for 1 week only. Buy one, get one.
Howie, if you buy one, you're going to want to get another one because it works so well. And you're going to be able to find a use for it, whether it's in your mudroom, your entryway, your basement, any garage, wherever you think, even in your workplace. If it's agreeable to your coworkers, and I wouldn't see why not. Nobody wants to smell fish in the microwave, but you're going to want to.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe you have one and you know how well it works. Now you may want one for your second floor or basement. If you've got one and you're going to get two, just give one to your kid. Bring one to where you work. I'm telling you, everyone will be happy. Pet, kitchen, tobacco, or that basement smell, they're all gone with Eden Pure Thunderstorm. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word Howie BOGO. That's one word, Howie BOGO, no space, Howie BOGO. This deal ends on January 31st at midnight. The Thunderstorm sells fast, so don't delay. Shipping is free. I'm Howie Carr.
Howie Carr. You can trust him. He's not like the others.
One gem spa left. One left.
One left. Okay. Phone. Stop in today for their famous baby back ribs and so much more.
Joe Biden's plagiarizing prowess proves one thing: he's been stealing all his life.
Let us pledge that our generation of Americans will pay any price. We shall pay any price. Bear any burden. Bear any burden. Accept any challenge and meet any hardship. Meet any hardship. To secure the blessings of prosperity and the promise of opportunity for our children. To assure the survival and the success of liberty. But this standard is not a measure of how we can evaluate the condition of our society. We cannot measure the health of our children.
Yet the gross national product does not allow for the health of our children.
The quality of our education.
The quality of their education.
The joy of their play.
For the joy of their play.
Come on, man. Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number one. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. So is it gone? I just see one was sold a minute ago, so it's gone, right?
Bald spot.
Oh, it's
now
gone.
when I look in
Yep.
the mirror, I see
Gone.
the new
Okay.
me with a full head of thick hair.
For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie.
What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out?
Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie.
Brace yourself, guys. Here is 1 minute of Nancy Pelosi.
I myself have always been for lowering the voting age to 16. I think it's really important to capture kids when they're in high school, which was a very amicable conversation. Amiable, I guess you would say, not amicable. That they wanted their voices to be heard. I don't think our colleague is anti-Semitic. I think she has a different experience in the use of words. That's not the total package, but there are some of the major points of discussion, I would hope, from sea to shining sea, because they are not getting paid 163 Republicans voted no. Wisdom from the kitchen of the Willard Hotel, yes, ma'am. The president either doesn't know what he's talking about or doesn't want to know what he's talking about.
Maybe you know what a zombie is. You see them sometimes, walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats?
Howie Carr is back.
We're finally sold out of the gym spas, and if you missed your chance to get it at half price, you can still get a great deal on the Kathy Ireland Gem Spa jewelry cleaning system. Visit mygemspa.com. mygemspa.com. They have a special deal for Howie listeners. When you use code GRACE, you get 20% off. The Kathy Ireland Gym Spa turns your dishwasher into a jewelry cleaning and sanitizing machine. Visit mygemspa.com to get the special Howie Carr price and 20% off with code GRACE. 20% off with code GRACE. And you're going to love it, whether you got the cheap bastard deal or whether you get the 20% off. It's still a great buy. 508 says, I've been trying to get to the censurebaker.com website, but it didn't show up on the Norton or Google web search. It's not Censure, it's Censure. CENSUR Baker.com. Censurebaker.com. And get there and sign it. And if you want to censure Charlie Baker, the Republican governor, who's not really a Republican, at the GOP state committee meeting tomorrow night. Censurebaker.com. Kevin E., you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Kevin E.
Good evening, Howie. How you doing?
Good.
I'm wondering if you recall a couple of years ago when Martina Navratilova spoke out about this, and she said, what's to stop a man from becoming a woman for a couple of years, winning every record, making a small fortune, and then deciding to have a family and going back to being a man? She was thrown off of an LGBTQ ABC advocacy group for speaking out about that. She's like the highest awarded, feminine lesbian woman athlete in history.
Right.
She got thrown off a board because she spoke out saying that it's wrong. It's not fair,
Well, how about the woman who wrote all the Harry Potter books? I think she's close to a billionaire, if not a billionaire. And she can't even, she's a greatest selling author of the last probably 20 years. She couldn't even get her last book published because she said the same thing that Martina Navratilova said. It's amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely. I have a couple of younger, let's call them 20-somethings in my family, nieces, and they've recently been through the higher education systems, quote unquote. And, you get in a debate with them about this, and their solution is like co-ed sports. And I say, to be a little vulgar, I say, how many How many athletes do you think would make a hockey roster without a pair underneath their shorts? You know what I mean?
I know. I know. These are crazy conversations. 5, 10, 20 years ago, you couldn't imagine having conversation. Should women be allowed on hockey teams? I mean, it's just not going to work out. Have a women's hockey team. What's the difference? How is it discrimination? I don't get it. 844-500-4242. I don't know. It's just really, really something. And he did it on the first day. Some of this other, that's where his priority, or not his priorities. Again, there's nothing upstairs with him. We see it again today. But his administration, this is what their priorities are. Making us energy dependent and destroying female sports. That was the first day. Day one, job one. Build America better. I'm Howie Carr. New year, new hobbies. Whether it's following along to directions in the kitchen, binging an audiobook while learning to knit, or powering through a new workout with a pumped-up playlist, a pair of Raycon wireless earbuds can make any activity easier and a better time. Raycon makes great sound accessible to everyone. Their wireless earbuds start at half the price of other premium audio brands, but they sound just as great. And if you think having white stems dangling out of your ears looks ridiculous, that's something you don't have to worry about with Raycons. They come in a range of stylish colorways, but always with a comfortable in-ear fit for a more discreet look. Plus, with up to 6 hours of playtime, water and sweat-resistant construction, and Bluetooth that pairs quickly and seamlessly, you can take Raycon's premium audio anywhere you go. Right now, you can get 15% off your Raycon order at buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie for 15% off Raycon. buyraycon.com/Howie.
I tested positive. Let's use this example of me having it as proof that you can get it too. God forbid, the rest of us should be staying at home for our mothers and the people that we love. And to keep us farther apart will ultimately bring us closer together in this cause. We have to do everything we can to avoid being sick. No matter where the virus goes, the way to stop it will always be the same. Our collective conscientious actions. Staying home. Staying home saves lives. I don't want some jack loser, fat tire biker get in my face and in my space and talk to me. I don't want to hear it. All right, here is the official re-entry from the basement.
You're a phony. Hey, this guy's a great big phony.
Cleared by CDC. A little sweaty. Just worked out.
Oh, my.
He might not be flashy, but he's there when it counts. Here's 1 minute of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
For the first time in my memory, I agree with Nancy Pelosi. I am indeed the Grim Reaper when it comes to the socialist agenda that they've been ginning up over in the House.
You've watched the fight. You've watched the tactics. But here's what I want to tell you. In the very near future, Judge Kavanaugh will be on the United States Supreme Court.
Noted with great interest the Green New Deal. And we're going to be voting on that in the Senate. We'll give everybody an opportunity to go on record and see how they feel about the Green New Deal.
Well, first on the impartiality issue, do you think Chuck Schumer's impartial? Do you think Elizabeth Warren is impartial?
No.
Bernie Sanders is impartial? So let's quit the charade. This is a political exercise. Nobody is supposed to be guilty until proven innocent in the United States of America. Look, we're at an impasse. We can't do anything until the speaker sends the papers over, so everybody enjoy the holidays.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
You've been hearing me talk about Super Beats for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beats? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beats are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beats. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
Are we starting to feel bad for Joe Biden? Sorta. Are we going to play his gaps anyway? Of course.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Now we need to stand behind Jamie Harrison, the next president, next senator. I'm looking forward to appointing the first African-American woman to the United States Senate. Just like here in California, here in Nevada. Back in the spring, late fall, or late spring, late winter, early fall. Anyway, you know what I mean. Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. It says you cannot have 20, 30, 40, 50 clips in a weapon. We'll see who's sleepy.
Mr. Vice President, thank you.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris.
Sometimes I wake up and I think it's 1920, not 2020.
This is Charlie Baker.
Hey, everybody. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker here.
And these are his friends.
There's a group of about 10 people outside of work that represent the entire universe of the community that I've spent time with and my wife has spent time with since March.
In the world of Charlie Baker and his friends, the real world of panic porn, political leaders cannot survive without absolute power. And the public can't be expected to blindly follow orders without first hearing a made-up story.
We spent time with about 10 people, period. We have a lot of friends we have not seen for months, and we don't know when we will see them. There are lots of people we haven't seen in forever.
It's a confusing, nonsensical, follow-the-science world.
Taylor.
It's the only world they know. And they're the only friends Charlie Baker has.
My wife and my circle of friends has gotten very small.
You're listening to the Howie
Taylor
Show.
What impact do you think Russian interference had in the election?
I think it was one of the major contributors to the outcome.
Years from the 2016 election, and Hillary Clinton still can't accept the results. Take a listen.
You know, you can run the best campaign. You can be...
What's up, Howie?
Did you see the thing from 508? This guy wants to order the heater, but he can't find him on the website. Can you just give him the Eden Pure website and give him or just tell him where to go?
Yeah, I'll text him.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
flashing videos that appear and then disappear, and they're on the dark web and nobody can find them. It's like applying for a job and getting 66 million letters of recommendation and losing to a corrupt human tornado. So maybe there does need to be a rematch. I mean, obviously I can beat him again. So of course he's obsessed with me.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie.
Hello, all the participants in tonight's event. We can overcome the deadly virus. We can reward work. We will reclaim our credibility. The pandemic, we need all our strength to persevere. Rural versus urban, rural versus urban. America built of decency. I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason. Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency. All my colleagues I serve with in the House.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
Unity requires you to eliminate the vitriol.
So unity to him means, of course, approaching our work on legislative issues.
If we're going to have unity in our country, I think it's important to recognize the need for
Unity Quilt. It represents our two families coming together, and there is a personalized square for each member of our joined family.
Shut up about unity.
We're going to argue like hell. I'm confident of that. Believe me, I know that. I've been there.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
In the doghouse, the president's beloved German Shepherds arrive at the White House.
The youngest Major, the first rescue dog to live in the White House.
The White House has two more new residents, Champ and Major.
These dogs, they walk around all high and mighty.
We must remember there are many more important things.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
I have a solution for the Joe Biden problem with misspeaking. The 300 million turned into 300. He should wear a mask for all press conferences. It will make it much easier for the networks to edit in the remarks they want him to say rather than what he's saying. This is just difficult to into the fact that he said 3 vaccines.
From 400 million ordered to 600 million. This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans by end of the summer, the beginning of the fall. But we want to make, look, I want to repeat, it'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans.
I want to repeat. It was so important he had to repeat himself. All right, 844-500-4242. Just want to mention a few stories here before we move on here, and we'll take some. If you want to keep talking about this for a while, the transgender sports situation. The New York Times is totally owned by left-wing interests now. I mean, that's how they make their money without the left-wing support on the online subscriptions. There is no New York Times. So they can't write anything that makes Joe Biden look at all bad. And this most recently happened. They thought they were writing just a standard feature story, like a version of the dog story. They mentioned that Joe Biden was wearing a Rolex Datejust watch with a blue dial, a model that retails, this is from the story, that retails for more than $7,000. It is a far cry from the everyman timepieces that every president not named Trump has worn conspicuously in recent decades. This is the New York Times news story. To many, a president wearing a luxury watch might not seem unusual. Shouldn't the leader of the free world wear a power watch befitting his position? But then the reporter went on to note that Eisenhower and LBJ both wore Rolex watches, adding that political power watches have gone out of style in the internet age. So it's become a Timex type of deal. Bill Clinton and George Bush, Barack Obama wore Shinola and George Gray, and so the moonbats went crazy. Is the New York Times really going to keep doing this bleep? What's the worst presidential scandal? The time when Biden wore a Rolex? The time when Obama ordered Dijon mustard? Or the time Trump encouraged an insurrectionist mob to violently seize the Capitol in a vain attempt to overturn an election he lost? That's a reporter from Vox Media said that. Here's another one. 2 weeks ago, our democracy was teetering on the brink of collapse at the hands of a violent white supremacist cabal directed by the President of the United States. And now the New York Times is showing its fairness by attacking Joe Biden for wearing a Rolex. Shame on you. So you can imagine what would happen if the New York Times pointed out in tomorrow's editions or tonight on the internet that Joe Biden had confused 300 million with 300. There would really be an insurrection then. So there's a firearms store in Missouri, Jefferson City, Missouri. It's called Trigger Firearms and Reloading. And after the inauguration last week, they released a statement on Facebook, this gun shop, announcing they will no longer sell firearms or ammunition to Biden supporters. We don't have guns or ammo for Biden supporters. Sorry for the inconvenience. And you can imagine the reaction that got from the liberals. But one guy wrote back on Twitter, funny all these crying liberals on here, but to set the record straight, I never heard of a gun business going bankrupt from a liberal boycott. I think that's a fact. Austin,
that's some breaking news here, Howie.
Yes.
Senator Leahy, who's going to preside over former President Trump's second impeachment trial, has been taken to a local hospital for observation. He's being evaluated after an examination by the Capitol attending physician after he was not feeling well in his office earlier today.
So who's third in line to conduct this, or fourth in line? Because Roberts, the Supreme Court Chief Justice, didn't want to do it. Dianne Feinstein, who's the president pro tem, the longest serving senator, she would normally be the fallback. She can't do it. So it goes to Pat Leahy, and he's on the Biden downhill slide. Now he's out. So who's next? I don't know. So this former candidate for the Senate in Missouri, his name is Austin Peterson. He didn't win. He said the comment section of howling leftists is like delicious hot apple pie without ice cream. And another one said, private company so they can do what they want. Checkmate liberals. 844-500-4242. And this guy, Michael Flager, he's the priest from Chicago. He was very close with Barack Obama, although that is now being not mentioned in the stories. He's been a priest at a predominantly black Catholic church for 40 years. He now has he has now been removed from his parish because of a decades-long sexual abuse allegation against a minor. Well, now it turns out the second person has stepped forward. It's the brother of the first victim. One of them 71, the other one is 61. There was no father figure in the household. So according to the two brothers, Flager just stepped in and became a predator. Stop me if you've heard this story before. That was the pattern in the Archdiocese of Boston and everywhere else where there've been priestly pederasts going crazy. They never go for a boy from an intact home, or very rarely. They always go for a kid from a broken home with no father present, and they move in. And that's exactly what happened and allegedly happened in this case of Flager. 844-500-4242. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler pepper sprays man who accosted him outside pub. And again, we keep talking about how the Democrats think that they can ride the tiger here with these leftist nuts, whether they're Bernie bros like James Hodgkinson, who shot up the Republican congressional baseball practice or these West Coast cities. Now, this is the second time that this guy, Ted Wheeler, has been attacked while he's eating at a restaurant. A couple weeks ago, he was dining out with a woman, and this guy came up and started screaming at him. So night before last night, he was at a pub, one of these brew pubs, eating with the former mayor, Sam Adams, the former mayor. So it's a mayor of Portland and the former mayor having dinner together. And a man confronted them outside. The man reportedly complained that the two mayors were not wearing face masks while dining. The two had been inside the restaurant's tent, and Wheeler explained to the man that masks are not required while eating. While recording with his cell phone, the man, who was maskless, then followed Wheeler to his car. I became eminently concerned for my personal safety, Wheeler later told authorities, as detailed in the police report. Wheeler told the man to back off, but he refused. I informed him I was carrying pepper spray and that I would use it if he did not back off. He remained at close distance. I pulled out the pepper spray and I sprayed him in the eyes. Can we recreate that situation, Taylor? Perhaps instead of using the word pepper spray, we could use the word tase.
Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. I didn't do anything. Ow! 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 Ow!
I heard someone on the radio today describing pepper spray as a minor irritant. I think it's a minor irritant if it hits somebody else. It's like mace or tear gas. It's a minor irritant until it hits you. Then it becomes a major irritant. But again, this guy has been this mayor. He's a real squish, just a total wimp. He has been run out of his condo. He lives in a condo that's worth like $900,000, and Antifa just kept coming by every night. And finally, he just said, "I can't bother everybody else. I got to go." He's in a safe place now, as Dick Cheney used to say. But you know, Taylor, I think does President Trump have an alibi for where he was last night? I think this could easily be Trump's fault. What happened? Trump actually could have been the one who got pepper sprayed. Cuts 27.
Tweets that he's been putting out in the last 48 hours, attacking Democratic mayors, attacking those who are trying to bring resolution to the violence in their local communities. He has an opportunity to uplift us and bring us together and help us move through this difficult situation in our nation's history. And instead, he chooses to play petty politics and divide us. That's my reaction. So I'm going to do the work that I need to do here in my local community with my local officials to take accountability for what's happening on our streets. And I'd appreciate that either the president support us or he stay the hell out of the way.
And where the hell's my pepper spray? That's how he's going to bring peace and equity to Portland, Oregon, with his pepper spray. We'll play a couple more cuts when we come back. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Fighting the fake news, one former Democrat stenographer with a press pass at a time. It's Howie Carr.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is...
We've got a new cut from Andrew Cuomo saying incompetent government kills people, and he's glad Biden's in office now.
Full emergency, and where did I go? Perfect Smiles. I've said this before, but this reminded me again of what a perfectionist Dr. Houghton is. He is a veneer engineer, a world-class dental artist. Being on TV, it's important that I look my best. Dr. Houghton did that for me, and he can do it for you too. Right now, when a lot of people don't want to go into the city, Perfect Smiles is conveniently located in Nashua, New Hampshire, and parking is free. I was impressed to see all the state-of-the-art safety protocols that Perfect Smiles has taken since the virus. You'll feel safe and confident when you visit Perfect Smiles. Call 1-844-A-PERFECT-SMILE, 1-844-A-PERFECT-SMILE, or go to HowieCarrShow.com and click on the Perfect Smiles banner. You can also see my video at PerfectSmiles.com. Perfect Smiles. Change your smile. Change your life.
Hello, all the participants in tonight's event. We can overcome the deadly virus We can reward work. We will reclaim our credibility. The pandemic, we need all our strength to persevere. Rural versus urban, or rural versus urban. America built of decency. I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason. Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency. All my colleagues I serve with in the House and the Senate up here. James Joyce was said to have told a friend, I understand they worry about their jobs. I understand, like my dad, they lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Yes. God love you, man. You're a one-horse pony. Come on, give me a break, man.
Here at the Howie Carr Radio Network, we're all about saving you money. We want you to cut out the middleman and buy direct from our great sponsors. And to help you save, I've put together a cheat sheet. For instance, if you go to EdenPure.com, you'll find the Thunderstorm Air Purifier, and you can save $10 using code Howie. You can also get Eden Pure's Gen 30 heater and save even more money with code Howie Deal. Do you have a dirty, dingy carpet that could use some freshening up? Head over to Genesis950.com, use code Howie, and get a gallon of their cleaner, free shipping, and other goodies with code Howie. Put a little pep in your step with Super Beats. Get more bang for your buck and do some good for your heart by going to superbeatsradio.com/Howie. While you're at it, give your ears a treat too, and listen to your favorite music and podcasts with premium earbuds from Raycon. Get them at buyraycon.com/Howie. And finally, make cooking easier with HelloFresh. They'll send you easy-to-follow recipes and all the ingredients you need, but only if you visit HelloFresh.com/Howie. Cut out the middleman, save money, and take advantage of these deals now.
And now, 1 minute of Nancy Pelosi.
It is a bill that is much needed for our farmers and ranchers. I think there are only 47 votes against it in the House of Representatives. The American people should know the source of it. Again, we are engaged in the year-end continuing resolution, Homeland Security. I'm not sure. No, I haven't spoken to him since he called the other day, which was a very amicable conversation. Amiable, I guess you would say, not amicable. And I talked to Chuck last night to say, we haven't had an answer. There are other things that are going on that are newsworthy, and I think you'd have more viewers or readers if people address concerns that people have. The list goes on about the
On the radio and on the big screen. Twice.
I am big. It's the picture that got small.
Howie Carr is back.
Take advantage of HelloFresh's New Year sale and get simple recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered to your door. I'm going to go with the mozzarella stuffed burger with my latest shipment that I got today. That'll be the first one I cook. Right now, get 10 free meals, including free shipping, during HelloFresh's New Year sale with code Howie10 at HelloFresh.com. That's code Howie10 at HelloFresh.com. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Which of Dr. Fauci's mandates do you believe? No masks, 1 mask, or 2 masks?
Can I come back next week and vote for 3 masks when he says someone's going to ask him, why not 3 masks, Fauci? Oh, all right. I'm going to go with 0 masks.
85% say 0 masks.
So I just Googled during the break, Joe Biden says 300 Americans. Here's what comes back. CBS News. Biden says U.S. will have enough vaccine doses for 300 million Americans by end of summer. Chicago Tribune. Biden administration to boost vaccine supply enough to protect, quote, they put it in quotes, 300 million Americans by end of summer. In quotes. U.S. News and World Report. Biden, U.S. will have enough vaccines for 300 million Americans by the end of the summer. So no one's covering it. No one is saying that he screwed it up twice and said 300 Americans. 781. Crude oil closed at $53 a barrel today, up $17 per barrel from November 7th, 2020, when it closed at $36 a barrel. I feel we're headed for $4 a gallon gasoline with Joe Biden in office. And of course, I wonder if Charlie Parker tonight at his State of the State address at the State House is going to mention that he wants to increase the gasoline tax without a vote by either the legislature or by the populace by 38 cents per gallon, according to Tufts University, on top of what Biden wants to increase the federal gas tax. And now they're closing off all the drilling on federal property. They're shutting down the Keystone Pipeline. That's going to drive it even higher. We may be thinking $4 looks like a good buy in a year or so. Maria, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Maria.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
I think when it comes to the invasion of female sports, that's what it is. They're just trying to erase us as participants in anything. It seems the only way I think that we're going to be able to take this back is for school-age girls and beyond, I guess, to just refuse. No, and walk off of the court, walk off of the field. No, we're not
but Maria, I mean,
on our own. Then
I mean, young women, young men, they like to play sports. I mean, look at how bad it was that this last fall there was no high school football. I mean, these kids that were deprived, men that were young boys that were deprived of high school football, they're going to remember this for the rest of their lives as something they were deprived of. You can't ask women to just walk away. I don't think, Maria, can you? Come on.
But how else do we keep our own? If we're going to lose anyway to boys that are playing on our girls' teams, what's the sense of having girls' teams unless you're going to stand up and fight for it?
I don't know. You just got to try to. I mean, it's got to be turned around. I mean, this is not going to play well with the general public. I don't think. Jay from Chelsea says the press pass for Joe Biden in women's sports. They're going to say he was just trying to help. This was a totally unintended consequence that nobody could have foreseen. Yeah, that's what they're going to say. Just like they're saying he didn't screw up that he was going to do 300 vaccinations instead of 300 million. They're gonna cover for him, but it's pretty clear. I mean, there's only so much you can cover up for. I mean, look at the Pravda and Izvestia tried to cover up for the failings of the Soviet Union for all those years, but eventually it falls apart. The truth will out. I mean, that's an old saying, but it seems like a Pollyanna-ish saying at this point. But eventually, the truth gets out, no matter how much the mainstream media tries to cover it up. Thanks for the call, Maria. We'll take some more calls when we come back. 844-500-4242. 844-500-4242. They always cover up. They just think that they can pretend stuff didn't happen, and they'll find some way to blame everything on Republicans, mean-spirited Republicans. That's why Joe's initiative is not working out. I'm Howie Carr.
Several years ago, we here at Matthews Brothers launched a website called MatthewsBrothers.com. We did this for a couple of reasons. First, it's our name, and it seemed to make sense that we name it after ourselves. Secondly, we thought it would be a useful place to post interesting things about our wicked awesome windows and doors. Shortly after we launched it, this fella, who insists on calling himself the webmaster, told us that he could put anything we wanted to on our website. Since we were getting kind of tired of seeing his vacation photos there, we took him up on his offer. Today, there's so much fun stuff to do on our website. It's like going to a theme park, but without the lines. or the mask? Do you want to know the closest dealer to you? Even if you're out in the middle of nowhere, or worse yet, New Jersey? We've got a dealer locator for that. Want to page through a colorful catalog without having to lick your fingers? We've got a flip book for that. Accidentally take the bottom sash out of the frame and there's a blizzard coming and you can't get it back in and the factory's closed? We've even got a video for that. You can learn more about our wicked awesome windows and doors, but only at Better Lumber Yards and Window Professionals.
Is there audio on the website, Taylor? Or is this guy just another guy that's just
There
crazy?
is now. It went out because the internet stuff that's been going around the Northeast.
Oh, but it's back?
Yeah, I just reconnected it.
Okay, sorry.
No worries.
And racists, credulous, rude, tin-toothed, working class.
Can we post the 300 cut on the Twitter?
I already retweeted it.
Okay, we retweeted. Okay, we'll play it again. Just play it coming out.
Sure. Don't forget that Cuomo cut.
No, I got to get I'll get the Cuomo right afterwards.
For change, put down.
Racist, bigoted base.
It's white privilege, it's white nationalism, it's anger, it's rage, it's insult.
You tolerate a certain level of racism.
1 in 3 Americans are racist. The credulous boomer rube demo.
Y'all elitists are dead.
You elitists with your geography and your maps and your spelling. Even though my
your math and your reading.
Yeah, you're reading.
They're too far gone.
Look at them. They're high-fiving each other, and they're going to go back, to the Olive Garden and to the Holiday Inn that they're staying at in the Garden Marriott, and they're going to have some drinks.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number one. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie. The Moonbats always say Donald Trump isn't very bright. But what about Barack Hussein Obama? Let's listen to some of his greatest hits.
I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. I don't know what the term is in Austrian. The Cambridge police acted stupidly. And there has never been any man or woman more qualified for this office than Hillary Clinton. There are neighborhoods around the country where it is easier for a 12 or 13-year-old to purchase a gun and cheaper than it is for them to get a book. I believe in the Second Amendment. It's there written on the paper. If we fall for, a bunch of okey doke. A few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia, not Al Qaeda. You said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back.
And now, another minute of Madam Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
But again,
You have these wings, AOC and her group on one side.
That's like 5 people. They would say, play games, and then they'd say, open sesame. Except we don't say sesame, we say open Biden. But no, because we are not. We have the number is growing. We have 91 women. There are 115 women in Congress, 116. 15 are Republican, 91 are Democrats. I happen to be a manifestation of the women power that is coming forth now, but only one manifestation. It was like getting kicked in the back by a mule constantly. It was physical. It was so unbelievable. The Times found Lincoln. Not to be presumptuous to put ourselves in those categories, but the Times have found us.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
There have been some internet outages throughout the course of the afternoon along the East Coast from Washington to Boston. And our website transmission was knocked off a few minutes ago, but it's back. It's back. I apologize if you're listening at a different stream than you normally do. You can go back to the website now. It's all hooked up again. 844-500-4242. So I just put into Google, Joe Biden says 300 Americans will be vaccinated instead of 300 million. Nothing comes back. Nothing. All that comes back is NBC News. It will be more than enough to fully vaccinate 300 million Americans. NBC News made up the quote. CNN. Biden announces purchase of 200 million vaccines. It will be enough to fully vaccinate 300 million Americans, et cetera, et cetera. So USA Today, the nation's vaccine supply will be enough to fully vaccinate 300 million Americans. So never mind what he said. We'll just change it around because it's Uncle Joe. The fact that he said 300 Americans will be vaccinated, that's been totally debunked because you can't find it on any of the mainstream media feeds, right? Let's hear it again. So we did tweet it out, and so if your family is giving you crap and your moonbat wife or your moonbat kid home from college is saying that's not true because they saw it on the CNN feed that it's not true, just play them this cut, and you can find it on Twitter, and we just tweeted it out. But here it is.
Vaccine will be there, and the order, and that increases the total vaccine order in the United States by 50%. From 400 million order to 600 million. This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans by end of the summer, the beginning of the fall. But we want to make, look, I want to repeat, it'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans to beat this pandemic, 300 million Americans.
So he said it twice. He said it twice, and they have altered the quote. They haven't altered the quote to take out an or an. They've added a word when he botched it twice. And again, they would never have done that for a Republican. They would never have done that actually for Tulsi Gabbard because she's now an enemy of the state. She's a Russian asset, don't you know? Hillary Clinton said that. Incidentally, speaking of horses' asses, Andrew Cuomo today, he was blaming somebody else. He's not good for much, but boy, can he point the fingers. He's a world-class finger pointer. He doesn't have a sign on his desk. He has a desk that says on it, "The buck doesn't stop here." And behind him is a banner that says, it doesn't say "Don't tread on me." It says, "The buck doesn't stop here." He ought to have it tattooed on his forehead. "The buck doesn't stop here." Listen to this.
Incompetent government kills people. Incompetent government kills people. More people died than needed to die in COVID. That's the truth. And forget Democrat, Republican. As a person who believes in government and public service and who has seen people die over this past year, that's why hearing President Biden is such a welcome relief.
He's planning to vaccinate 100 Americans a day for the next 3 Americans a day for the next 100 days. That's why that gives Andrew Cuomo a lot of faith in the future. And did you hear me? He repeats it twice. Incompetent government kills people. Talk about projection. No wonder Janice Dean, the Fox weather woman, wants to run against him next year. Incompetent government kills people. This is the guy who sent in COVID-19 patients into nursing homes with elderly people with comorbidities after the nursing home administrators begged him not to do so because they knew it would kill people. And then when the people in the nursing home started dying, he ordered the state to change the way the deaths were tabulated. So New York State is not the highest death toll per capita in nursing homes. Massachusetts is. And in this case, Massachusetts has something to complain about. We ought to be number 2 rather than number 1. New York should be number 1. God. 844-500-4242. 781 says, wow, I was ready to give him a pass when he said it once, but after I heard him say, I repeat, that's bad. He didn't say, I repeat. Now you're misquoting him. He said, I'm a Pete. I'm a Pete. I'm a Pete. Kevin, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good.
Calling you from the mean streets of Western Massachusetts once again.
Yes.
Snowing up here. What's it doing where you're at?
I'm in Florida, so it's about 75 degrees.
Move on.
Okay. Joe, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Joe.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
Here's a question for you. We don't have too many schools who play rugby, but I'm sure any guys on a rugby team would be hesitant to tackle a female. Don't you think so? I mean, that would be sexual harassment.
That's a good point. How about, I just got a text from somebody from Maine who said that he had his 12-year-old son got on the wrestling team, I guess in middle school, and he had to wrestle against a girl. And he looked up at his father and said, what am I going to do? And then he just lost the match because he didn't want to hurt the young girl. I don't know. I don't know, Joe. It makes no sense, does it?
No, not at all. I mean, if I saw somebody wrestling my daughter and grabbed her in the wrong place, I'd be pissed. I'd be waiting for him to come out.
But Joe, would you even want your daughter wrestling against men?
No.
No, I wouldn't. No. My daughters weren't athletic. They would never have gotten involved in that. But I would have told them, "Are you crazy? You want to?" It's. I mean, I guess they had the female kicker for Vanderbilt, but that was a publicity stunt, basically. And a kicker, that's different. She's not. She could just, after she kicks the ball, she can just fall down. No one's going to stomp her. No one would have stomped her. But I mean, you're right. Wrestling, rugby, hockey. Hockey, you stop somebody by checking them, right? Thanks for the call, Joe. Steve, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Howie, how you doing? First time caller. I've been listening to you for a while. I'm from Maine.
Thank you.
So I got a different theory for you. Okay, you guys. I've been in Maine a long time, and this is a socialist state, has been for a long time. People don't realize it. Since Paul LePage left, he was the last hope we had. Now we have a federal government that has the same thing, and they're putting these things upon us. So what we need to do is we need to start teaching our young boys. Those girls are the same as you. If they pick a fight with you on the schoolyard, let's beat them up.
No, Steve. No, come on. You don't mean that. 844-500-4242. I think one of the big problems here is the schools, the public schools. I mean, we got to retake control of the schools, or we just have to end the indoctrination that's going on. That's one of the biggest problems here. All these kids go to college, and they come back and they hate America. They're indoctrinated, and if you don't buy into the woke philosophy and you speak out, you'll be ostracized. The teacher will give you a low grade. The other students will look at you askance. You'll be called names. This has been going on for a while too. This is not terribly new. Oh, the guy who sent me the text about his 12-year-old son. He said, "Thanks for sharing my son's story. By the way, he is now Special Forces." Well, the story at least has a happy ending, right? 844-500-4242. I want to play a cut from the manager of the now canceled Keystone XL pipeline. I hope they're going to go to court to try to overturn this decision, that there's a signed contract, et cetera, et cetera. But for now, at least thousands, it's up to 11,000, although the numbers are disputed, but it's probably close to 11,000 people have lost their jobs. And they're basically really good paying jobs. They're union jobs by and large, pipe fitters, laborers, unions that have endorsed Biden for some insane reason. But here's the Keystone XL manager. He's talking about the loss of jobs, and he says many are from Wisconsin. And again, Wisconsin, let's be honest, voted for Trump. They stole the election in Milwaukee. I think there were, let me put it this way, there were irregularities in Wisconsin. But the irregularities have now cost a lot of people in Wisconsin their good paying union jobs. Cut 32.
Right now, the numbers of jobs are thousands of jobs. There's Michaels, there's Precision Pipeline that would have affected that the pipeline was going to be constructed. The actions that were happening recently, we were doing station work. There's hundreds of guys that got laid off. Was that Tuesday?
Are any live in Wisconsin?
Yes, a lot of them live in Wisconsin. Yes.
So what? Didn't she? The important thing is Joe Biden's got some dogs in the White House. Cut 23.
In the doghouse, the president's beloved German shepherds arrive at the White House.
From the Oval Office today, the president's dogs could be heard barking. Major and Champ joined the first family over the weekend and will now call the White House home.
The White House has two more new residents, Champ and Major. The Bidens' two German shepherds have officially made the move from Delaware to Pennsylvania Avenue.
In a related development, 11,000 union workers have been laid off from their jobs by the insane decision to end the Keystone XL pipeline. But let's get back to the big news of the day. Cut 24.
A final note tonight about rescue dogs in the U.S. and the efforts to find them homes. Tonight, a boost in drawing attention to the cause. The newest White House residents have just arrived. First dogs, Champ and Major. 12-year-old Champ, 2-year-old Major, both German shepherds. The youngest, Major, the first rescue dog to live in the White House. The Bidens adopted Major through the Delaware Humane Association, the nonprofit saying it shows the real possibilities for what could happen for all the great dogs who need homes. We loved it.
What about all the laid off pipe fitters and laborers? Are they going to be adopted? Are they going to be rescue pipe fitters and rescue laborers that the Democrats are going to save from the unemployment lines and poverty? 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Follow Howie on Twitter at Howie Carr Show. You won't regret it.
My friends at Eden Pure have done it again. And for just this week, the Thunderstorm Air Purifier BOGO is back. That's buy one Thunderstorm and get another one for free. It's been months and people still ask me if it really works. Not only does it really work, but it works in hours. Our sales rep came down last week and there was a funky smell at the Airbnb, but that was no match for the Thunderstorm. The mailroom manager lent one of ours to her and hours later, the smell was gone. The Eden Pure Air Purifier is so small you can hold it in your hand and it plugs right into the wall. That's why it was so easy to move. The best part is that you don't have to replace any air filters, which of course saves you time and money. BOGO is back for 1 week only. Maybe you have one and you know how well it works. Now you may want one for your second floor or your basement. Pet, kitchen, tobacco, or that basement smell. They're all gone with the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word HowieBOGO. This deal ends on January 31st at midnight. The Thunderstorm sells fast, so don't delay. Shipping is free.
He is the youngest senator that is going to be running. In his video, he also mentioned he's the only senator that lives in the inner city, and he's an unmarried vegan. So a lot of very unique qualities Cory Booker brings to the table, Kate.
Now, I appreciate the comments of my colleagues. This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
Joey, you like movies about gladiators?
Have you ever had an LGBTQ law clerk?
I've not been a judge, so I don't have any law clerks.
Someone working for you.
I'm to be honest, I don't know the sexual orientation of my staff.
When Dick Durbin called me, I had tears of rage when I heard about this experience in that meeting. And for you not to feel that hurt, tears of rage.
Would you just stop being so dramatic?
I'm a big believer that if this country hasn't broken your heart, then you don't love her enough.
You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
They're outlandish, they're outrageous, and they're hypocrites. They're the women of The View.
Bernie was so menschy in that moment, like a real guy. I actually am aroused by him.
Timothy McVeigh was a Christian. Just saying.
Hitler was a Christian.
Well, he didn't like the Catholics.
Trump needs to be medicated and hospitalized at this point, or he is going to just kill all of us.
I mean, do we have to wait till the hammer and sickle is on the American flag before we stand up to this guy?
Joy, you've worn blackface.
I did not go in blackface, please.
No, she was not in blackface.
Thank you.
It was a Halloween party. I went as a beautiful African woman. You have tanning lotion on, Joy? A little. I had makeup that was a little bit darker than my skin.
I'm hoping Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. She's a hell of a doctor.
Whoopi, you said that Roman Polanski, it wasn't rape.
I know it wasn't rape.
Child molest, maybe? I'm not sure.
It was something. It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape.
Hold up!
The Howie Carr Show.
Never get cocky with COVID. Truer words were never spoken. I'll take credit for that quote. Never get cocky with COVID.
Is he going to get the Pulitzer Prize for literature, or are we going to up him to the Nobel Prize for literature? Wow. Never get cocky with COVID. He's already got an Emmy, for something or other. 781. Hundreds may lose their homes due to the pipeline cancellation, but at least 2 dogs have a home. Don't try to rain on our feel-good story, you Debbie Downer. 860 says, one of those dogs almost killed Biden when he got out of the shower. When is the first dog going to get impeached for inciting an insurrection and trying to prevent the peaceful transition of power? 844-500-4242. Kevin, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yes, sir. Earlier today, there was an interview with Mike Lindell, and it had to do with the fact that the Better Business Bureau gave him from an A+ rating to an F rating, not due to his product, because anybody that's ever slept on a MyPillow knows that it's amazing.
Right.
But due to the fact that he was just
that he's politically incorrect.
How so?
Yeah. I mean, look, the guy that runs Goya, and that's a family enterprise. I think his grandfather started it. He has been muzzled by the board of directors. They told him he can no longer say anything unless he gets permission of the board of directors. And I guess the board of directors of Goya is woke. So now Michael Lindell is being shunned. Macy's has gotten rid of him now. And first it was Bed Bath & Beyond, Kohl's. Now it's Macy's. Another reason not to go to Macy's. And like Bed Bath & Beyond, Macy's is on the ropes. I don't think they're quite as bad shape as Bed Bath & Beyond, but they're getting there. 844-500-4242. He's such a good guy, Mike Lindell. You can just tell. I mean, you get tired of his ads on TV, but he seems like a really decent person. And he's been through a lot of stuff. And these pillows, they're made in the U.S. They're made in Minnesota. So what are all these companies going to replace them with? Pillows made in China? In Indonesia? Somewhere outside the country, most likely. Dennis, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Dennis.
Yes, sir, Mr. Carr. Calling you from the purpley blue state of New Hampshire here. But just an overall question. I'm not an economist, but I would assume that with the pipeline being shut down from Biden's little vindictive effort, along with some of these other producing oil facilities being turned off, isn't this going to affect the economy in more ways than just higher oil prices? I mean, this is down effect, right?
Oil is the fuel, the lifeblood of the economy, Dennis. So yeah, of course. I mean, prices are going to go up. And how about the security implications, the national security implications? Haven't we spent like 60 years trying to regain our energy independence? I mean, wasn't that I remember getting out of college in 1973, 74, and suddenly there was an oil embargo. And everybody said we have to have energy independence. And so the embargo ended after the 6-day war, and we went back to dependence, and then we got whacked again 5 years later. And it took until Trump became president and opened up the fracking and opened up the leasing on national federal land to get energy independence. We are right now, for a few more weeks or months anyway, the number one energy producer in the United States of America. But it's not going to last long, is it? 8-4, and yeah, it's going to affect the entire economy. It's going to make things more. If you have to pay $4 a gallon for gasoline instead of $1.90, that gives you less disposable income, right? I mean, that's real basic math. Even Joe Biden should be able to figure that out. It's not going to be good you're going to have less money to spend on going out to eat if you're ever allowed to go out to eat. Maybe you're going to be allowed in Massachusetts, but you're still not going to be allowed in New York City. Because incompetent government kills people. Incompetent government kills people.
Hamilton said, "Those who stand
I'm Howie
for
Carr.
nothing will fall for anything." This is Toby from Cape Cod.